Guys, I'm currently in Morocco. I'm not going to give an apartment tour, but this is kind of our living room. I don't know where I'm going to position this exactly. Maybe here. Is a standing video a good idea? Possibly, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, enjoy. Welcome to my first YouTube video. I've definitely been delaying this for like the longest time. I don't know why. I think I kind of put this like level of pressure on myself, and then I kind of got stage fright and I was like, no, let me not do that. I realized that when I tend to overthink things and overanalyze and overplan, overdo, then it doesn't go in the way that I want it to. So I'm trying to like take it easy, no pressure, no kind of like stress on myself, because then, you know, there's no creative block and I can just do things a bit more naturally. But yeah, I thought that I would just kind of press record. I just kind of wanted to let my words kind of flow a little bit and just see where the video goes. So for any of you guys who don't know, my name is Basma. I'm 20 years old. I am a lover of Sufism, philosophy, deep conversations, and that is going to be like a continuous theme. Hopefully, the adhan is going off right now. I am Moroccan and I'm also a Muslim woman. And you know, like navigating your relationship with faith as a woman can be really difficult. While you're growing up, you kind of don't know what you're following. You don't know what you're learning about. You don't really know. Like it's kind of blind faith essentially when you're being raised in a religion, right? You don't, it's really difficult to discover and feel things towards your religion. So I feel like I really started developing a strong understanding, strong grasp of my religion at the age of like 16, 17. Like after COVID time, I was the one that taught myself, and you know, I consumed media online that kind of shifted my perspective on religion, because I feel like my whole life I kind of had people telling me to be scared, to fear God, to kind of just conform to these ideas that just never really aligned with me to begin with, and they weren't anything that, like, they weren't necessarily things that brought me closer to my religion, right? Like, if anything, like, you telling me to fear God is only making me confused and it's almost pushing me away. I did have to reteach myself my understanding of faith, because it's really interesting how like the lines kind of blurred between like being religious and then cultural beliefs. Because a lot of the time the things I'm hearing, it's kind of a normalized thing for your family to just be like, oh, you know, this is haram, when it's just like you do your research and you're just like, it's just not that black and white. That urge, that like desire to want to know more about your faith, or just to want to learn more about other faiths, it's very important in shaping your worldview and shaping your perception of life. Alhamdulillah, thank God, growing up I had like friends from everywhere. So I managed to see and understand what faith meant to other people and how it transformed other people's lives in different parts of the world. I'm not chasing the correct answer. Live with what aligns with your reality, right? Like, you can't really dispute someone's truth. And I feel like I grew up with that because of my friends from, you know, other countries. I'm Moroccan, my friend's Nigerian, and this one's, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's from somewhere. And so it's just like, it taught me that like faith comes to everyone in different ways. Religion is just not as surface level as people make it seem to be. I know that my opinions might be quite controversial for a lot of people. I know I even differ with my own family members like on these kind of topics of conversation. But it's okay, because at the end of the day, you have to exist with like differing or opposing opinions. This duality has to exist. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this duality for a reason, right? And it's to learn from each other and to see like, how do we navigate things from here? The same way imams will differ within schools of thought. I wouldn't say I'm a Muslim that is best way to describe it, like a socio-political Muslim. I wouldn't consider myself that type of Muslim. I would consider myself a spiritual Muslim, someone that considers more so emotions and feelings and nuance in these conversations. Like I said, I'm not looking for the correct answer, because I think truth is subjective. What is my truth is not someone else's truth, right? So here it's like embracing everyone's different ideologies and mentalities and just coexisting with one another. I know people are going to be like, oh, you're so woke and whatnot. Let me just, should I keep this in for a bit? No, it's ruining the video. There is this hadith. It's in Sahih al-Bukhari 7505 and Sahih Muslim 2675. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I am as my servant thinks of me. I am with him when he remembers me. If he remembers me to himself, I remember him to myself. And if he remembers me in an assembly, I remember him in an assembly greater than it. If he draws near to me a handspan, I draw near him at an arm's length. And if he comes to me walking, I go to him running. And this hadith is so, so, so beautiful. And when I was like 16, this completely changed my entire mentality on how I approached God and my faith, right? Because my whole life I was kind of brought up thinking like, you should I was brought up being told that I should fear God, when it was just like that just didn't align with my philosophy. I could not wrap my head around, why would I fear God? So the way that you perceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changes the way that you receive blessings in your life or you receive negative things in your life. When I was in year 12, I remember I read The Alchemist, and this book was kind of like my turning point in life. I feel like it was a turning point in a lot of people's lives, but honestly it was such an incredible book for that time. Like, I'd gone through like friendship breakups, and I'd gone through like so many things that were hurting me at the time, and I felt like the only thing I could really take control over was my education and my studies. So it was a big like kind of wake up call that like, Basma, like, you're capable of whatever you want, like you are capable of whatever you want. And so that book kind of really helped me internalize it. And I remember so many quotes in the book just kind of made me realize the same thing, like the concept of how the universe was used. I know there's a quote, and it's like, if you want something, the entire universe conspires in helping you achieve it. You're studying, you're depressed, you're not seeing your friends, like it's raining in the UK, it's like depressing, you're waiting, like you're in this awkward transformative part of your life, and you don't know what's next. And kind of all of these fears were kind of looming over me, and that kind of belief kind of comforted me in that sense. And alhamdulillah, like the things that I wanted to and I was working towards, I literally fell into my lap. Inshallah, like in a couple years time I will be more comfortable in talking about those things. It was so beautiful watching everything kind of fall into place. Like, just once I changed my mentality, I started to become so optimistic. And I've never been a pessimistic person, but when I've had issues, like personal issues, I definitely see myself like being pessimistic, and I would always speak horrible things out loud. And I think this kind of turning point in my life when I was 16, it was like I just kind of realized like, oh my God, I've jinxed so many things in my life. Like, so many bad things that have happened to me have probably happened because I've spoken them into my life. And I realized like that got me freaking nowhere. Like, I just need to pattern up and just be kinder to myself and speak beauty into my life no matter what happens. When I say turning point, I don't mean like, I became a billionaire overnight or whatnot. Just, it was kind of like an internal shift. Like, I think I just started perceiving like the beauty of life a lot more. And I think now that I'm 20, and of course like there is no just straightforward way to you're constantly in search for your truth and your purpose, so you can never really predict what's to come. But I'd say I'm 20 now. I've gone through a lot in terms of like emotional growth and spiritual growth. Like, whoever's been following me for a while, I did wear the hijab last year in the summer for a couple of months, and I then took it off. I know a lot of people are curious about that. And I would say like how do I say? Okay, I've been through two heartbreaks in my life. I will say that. My first heartbreak was like, like that puppy love heartbreak when you're just so young and you're just kind of grasping, life and your experiences and whatnot. Although it was devastating as well, it definitely taught me what type of partner that I want in my life. And it taught me that also, just because somebody matches up with you perfectly doesn't mean they're the right person for you. That was kind of that wake up call. Yeah, it was just that kind of wake up call. And then my second heartbreak was like the most riveting heartbreak, because it was so traumatizing and so toxic, and that person brought out a really, really bad side of me. And I'm not down talking this person, but that person definitely brought out a side of me that I didn't like at all. And I'm sure I did the same too. Like, it just brought out a side of me that just wasn't one I can say I'm proud of or I admire. So I think after that relationship, I was honestly kind of grieving someone I thought I knew. And yeah, I guess that was like quite a big like turning point in my life. And wallah, like I'm so thankful that that happened, because it taught me so much about myself. Like I wouldn't be the best mother I am now if I hadn't gone through that situation. So I'm very, very thankful to that. And I think after I was really navigating like, what the hell do I do now? Like that was literally my mentality. I was so lost. I was like, oh my god, like what the hell? Everything I ever knew was a lie. Like it was literally like that. And then like I just kind of, I was in Morocco. I was reading like all of these books about, you know, acceptance. Okay, these are the books that I would freaking recommend. And if you follow me on TikTok, you know these books, honestly, like incredible books. And during this time of despair that I was going through, this emotional despair, these books honestly got me through. Like I was so content reading them. It was just like a breath of fresh air. So it's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, and Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender, written by David R. Hawkins. So guys, get these books. Honestly, if you are kind of in that transformative period of your life and you're trying to heal internal thing, those books, you need to read those books. This video is your sign to read those books. This is your calling. But yeah, so after, yeah, I just kind of like, I was going through this whole thing where I was very put off of men. I'm not gonna lie, I was very put off of men. I was just like, yeah, hell no, no way, Jose. So put off that I was just like, I don't even want to be perceived. I just want to be perceived as a Muslim woman. I don't want anyone to know me as anything as beyond that. I just want to reduce my identity to the hijab and a Muslim woman. That's all I wanted at this point. I really, really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it the whole course through. I loved wearing the hijab the whole way through. And my purpose, my understanding of the hijab and why I put it on is because there's a Sufi concept called dying before death. It consists of kind of letting go of your ego, your nafs, which is the Arabic word for ego. You lower its desires so that the soul can awaken to like divine truth while you are still alive. So you get rid of your pride, your attachment to worldly desires, greed, anger, envy, hatred, all of these things. You attempt in your lifetime, while you're still living and breathing, you let go of them. And that is essentially how they define death. As humans, those are the things that we kind of tend to struggle with, you know? So the way I perceive the hijab, and still to this day, is I wanted that. I wanted to like lessen my focus on my physical form and kind of go more internally. And I think that to this day, like that was one of the most transformative parts of my life. Like I learned so much about myself. Like every single day when you wear the hijab, you make a constant sacrifice to dress modestly, and just that being in your head 24/7, like that constant thought in your head 24/7. Like I didn't approach it about modesty. I didn't approach it about that. For me, it wasn't about that. It was just like, if I cover myself and I cover my hair and I cover my body, then like my focus lies elsewhere. My focus lies with God. And that's what I wanted at that time. Like, and of course still to this day, but at this time it's like when I needed it, then I had to shake myself into doing it, because nothing else would have put me in that same position. Nothing else would have made me feel the same type of things that putting the hijab on made me feel. And so it just came into my life at such a perfect time, and I will never in my life even regret in the slightest putting it on. And I could put it on tomorrow and take it off, and I still put it on now and then. And I just want that flexibility in my life. It was just a situation where I was like, I have kind of reached that point where I'm comfortable in my spirituality, guys. Wallah, like it was such a vulnerable time for me, and it was such a transformative time again in my life. It was such an incredible time that I would not take back for the world. And yeah, it was just like, okay, like this era of my life, I think, you know, I'm done with it. And I never addressed it on TikTok, because I know a lot of I know someone made a freaking someone made a TikTok. I think I did a photo dump, like slowly like soft launching not wearing the hijab, and someone made a TikTok and was like, is she not hijabi? And like I would get those comments for ages, and because I had like restricted my comments, like a lot of them wouldn't go up, but some of them would slide through. And yeah, a lot of people wanted to know why. A lot of people have been very curious why I took it off, but it's just one of them ones, guys. Like life happens. And I would get so many messages in the time that I wore it where people were so curious, like, Basma, like, what happened? And Basma, why have you taken it off? And Basma this and that. And at that time I was just like, gosh, like, is it that big of a deal? Like, was it ever that big of a deal? I've always been someone that's like so self-assured that like I know what the right decision is for me, and if it's not the right decision, I'll learn from it. In this time I was very careful with not calling myself a hijabi. Like, I just said I was dressing modestly so that people respected that I don't want this label assigned to me, but people are going to project labels onto you and whatnot if they want to. So I just kind of made peace with that. And so yeah, I just realized like how surveyed I was being. Like, it, everything was being hyper analyzed. My eyelashes, my makeup, everything was being like incredibly hyper analyzed. I guess kind of like subconsciously a way of reclaiming that is like, if I want to take it off, I'm going to take it off. Like, it's never been about that. And even to this day, I still hold that mentality. Like, I will wear the hijab, I will take the hijab off, and I will do it a million times over. Like, I'm not letting other people project their worldview onto me and their ideas and, you know, opinions onto me. Like, at the end of the day, I am my own person, and that's just that. So yeah, that's the topic of the hijab, kind of discussed over. I can go a lot more in depth with it because there's a lot of, like, you know, Islamic research at the time that I did, and, you know, things that I wanted to read about and understand and go into more depth. A lot of people have a black and white approach, black and white mentality, and that's okay too. If that suits you and that works for you, that's okay. Spirituality is so diverse, and faith is so beautiful, and religions are so beautiful, and understanding one another is like the beauty of life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gifted us. And it's so important to educate and learn and hear each other talk. So yeah, that's just my thoughts process on that. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. I'll be so honest with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed as much as it was just me kind of rambling. I guess it's like a start. Like, it kind of eases the pressure of me to, like, you know, it eases the pressure for me, I suppose. Like, I was really overthinking what to do in my first video. And yeah, once I edit this and if I'm happy with it, then I'll post it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah. And I hope to see you guys soon, hopefully with a video essay or anything like that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye.